We see brushes, paints, and arts, and a woman making a fresh one in a room with music and a man sitting. She is making a portrait of Victor. He doesn't want her portrait, he wants his. Not what she is seeing, but what he sees and has built. Howard is here, and he's drinking so early this morning. There is an intake in the call box. He brings it. He says he followed a big light. He's Arnold, simply Arno, and is a carpenter. He denies. There is another intake after. She had taken training from a battalion doctor. It will take a few more settings. Another is here, he was a fire lieutenant. Denies it. Denies another one. He has rejected everyone this week without even meeting them. He says when he sees someone, he knows who they are and believes in his instincts and doesn't want such people. Here he's again for another call he would not miss. Here is Morgan and baby Morgan. He picks it. He needs his help, for Mo is sick and needs to be checked by June. The baby has nothing to do with what they have going on between them. He denies. He says as he heard, and he keeps it. It's done, and glazing is just left. She turns it, and he sees. He focuses for a while being angry, brings it out at the roof, takes it, and throws it down. He sees she doesn't see him. No one sees, and that's the real problem. He asks him to send a team to bring Morgan. It's down there under Undead's feet. There is chattering going on while he's taking a look at these shots. He's here. He says people have the right to know who is outside. He has found everyone. Charlie, Lucy, Wes, Jacob, and Daniel. Vic says Wendell is here, Sarah and Dory except Alicia. He came here because he had no option for her child. June is calling them. She checks the baby. He's here and hugs and greets her, tells her that he had heard her message and came after Victor. She says Dory is fine as well. She can help people here properly. Howard attends to him and says Dory has seen movement in the north of Tower. He leaves. She plays with her. He says this offer and what Ginny had given were the same. She says John died because he didn't want to play Ginny's game. She will not do it. He is here and asks. She has a double ear infection. She has given her painkillers and amoxicillin, but needs to keep her under observation for the next 36 to 48 hours. He says they can have a drink now. He makes it and serves it. He appreciates his management here. He says this is miraculous, paradise all among hells, and keeps going. Morgan stops him, saying that's enough. He has called him because he wants him to do a thing for him that he can't do. He wants to know terms to agree. Vic says it's not a deal. He just has to do it to see that baby again. So for his new deal, both cheer and drink. There is a noise and Undead just stuck at the window. Stalkers are down there. There is incoming and it falls into here. They see it's explosive. He pushes it out and the blast shakes the entire tower. Both are fine. Howard and soldiers get here. Their leader wants to talk to him. Here he's. He says they have met before. They tried to call before. He didn't recognize his voice. He's Arno. His answer is the same for him. Arno wants a place for his people. Vic says he will never get it. They have found a warhead, but whoever touched it didn't make it. That thrown Undead weren't contaminated. Morgan confirms they do have one. Arno gives him 1 hour. He wants Dory ASAP and asks them to take the catapult from them. He says his people and MRAP are in range. He needs the radio to tell them to attack from the side. Mo is here and can trust him. He denies and walks and stops and sits. He's feeling something in his throat. Here he is. June is calling him to wake up. He was out for 10 minutes. Explosives damaged windows down floors and no casualty. Patrols can't go out since tunnels are not clear. He says he was poisoned. Dory is at the roof and says they are at his aim, but to save Tower from damage, they need to hold Undeads and load and aim. There are 47 minutes left. He wants them to stay prepared in case they attack. Morgan says he can handle and help if he lets him use the radio. He messes his help for people's lives. He says they can't use the radio since everything is hardwired. And walkies are in the armory in the basement. He is asking because he just wants them to relay a message to the armory. They can. He goes for Ali, and there is no contact due to cut lines due to explosion. There is incoming and hits the lower 3rd or 4th floor, and it does a lot of damage in elevators, and people are screaming for help. There are calls here. Arno wants to talk to him. He talks to him. Victor's gunman's scope is shining in the sun. It is his warning, or the next will be contaminated. She wants to go check the wounded. He says no one will go down until all is clear. Howard takes him and he vomits. He was right. He was poisoned. It's methylene blue. Rangers brought it. She doesn't know if he can die. He sees himself and Undead is loaded. He can deal and stop since he has experience. Howard says then why didn't it work with Teddy? He says who did it and asks them to investigate everyone who came within the last month. They say first they need to take care of this. He says he will go to the armory alone to call Grace for help. He will do it alone and stops him and all. He's doubting everyone. Who did it is inside the tower here, and he can't trust anyone. She has all medicines. He will not investigate anyone. He tells him about Sarah coming here. Sarah says he can't go alone down to the armory. He needs Morgan. Now he trusts him while he will have 𝑂𝕠𝕦𝕠𝕠. He asks for her. She is crying. He gives her to him. He wears it and says if she gets hurt, he says I know. They have 35 minutes. They move to go along with the guard. Here, people died while hiding during the blast and are undead. He says since he had threatened him about 𝑂𝕠𝕠𝕠, if he has given him poison, he will destroy him. He has to go down alone. Vic has to stay here with her. In the basement, across the service corridor, the mechanical room, there are charged walkies. He moves and gets onto the wire and slowly goes down. He says he's not her papa, he's just taking care of her for a while. He is almost there and has to jump. Reaches there. The universe gave her to him, this tower to him. He tells him that all is looking all right down there. He needs him to send her down here now and then he will move. Only then. She's lucky. His father didn't even used to look at him. He is sending her. He ties her well, he gets her down and moves down slowly, avoiding undeads. Vic has to find a way to trust people. She is here. He catches her. He has given his reason. Now will not be back for him. He says Alicia, he gets back. He wants him to find her since she doesn't want him to find her, perhaps, but about him she thinks differently. He will be back for him. He is hearing sounds of gunfire and undeads. An injection is being injected. He's very dehydrated. He's back. All he did brought walkie and all got done by Grace and Sarah. Poison has got out of him. 𝑂𝕠𝕠𝕠 is fine and is with Mr. 𝑓𝑢𝕠𝕠. He didn't throw him out of the window. Both wouldn't have remained able to find Alicia. He will find her, but he has taken people in who need a place like this. His instinct says he will find her. They will find her. He gives a hand, he gets up, and sees his thumb colored as poison. It was him. He had come to kill him. 𝑂𝕠𝕠𝕠 was totally all right. He left no option for him. They had almost died outside. Howard gets him up and away. They bring him to the roof. Now he has to throw him. There is a call. He stops and asks to answer it. He sees her. He shouts. Some of the undead filled with material from the warhead are mixed in with the ones surrounding the tower. They will contaminate all of it here. She will help for leaving Morgan and the baby alive. Howard says she seems right, and killing Morgan will make his name stronger. If she gets in, she and the baby will stay in. The deal is done. Now he can talk. She sees him and says she wanted to do so for him and his family. He cuts the line and she keeps it. He says he will give them all he couldn't. Asks to take Mr. 𝑓𝕠𝕠𝕠 out and asks Howard to bring the painting up. Grace can find the radiated if she gets the equipment. He tells him to send a team to bring them. He was wrong since he couldn't understand him. He wants to keep it just like it is right now. He wants to be seen like this to people now. He asks if all is all right. He is doubting himself because of Morgan. He wants him to bring baby here. He wants to spend time with her. Here is his painting, seeing deeply into it. Here in smoke, he is going back for sub. He stops as he can hear and asks them to get out. They appear. There is horses here. Dark horses are here. He's glad to see them alive, and so are they. He says they need to know many things about stalkers. He says he knows not even half. They are here at a camp. It's a huge camp. Wind is in right direction, so masks off. They are along this group for 2 weeks. Their leader want to meet him. It's not Arno. It's a woman. They take him along. He gets here, and she gets out. She removes mask, and here is Alicia. She needs his help. He laughs and hugs. He's looking shit. She was underground when world was burning. Who attacked tower aren't her people. Not anymore. These people are hungry and tired. He can do help. Undeads are coming towards, so all take their positions. They get here. He goes ahead and checks their stomachs. They are contaminated. He stops, and they start shooting until they blast and cause explosion, and radiation is all in air. He screams for everyone to run.